Good morning, everybody. Shef Abrocho Vatzlocha Shiur Nishmatam Shel HaKadoshim VaTorim. We are in a parasha, very interesting parashat Balak. One of the interesting questions in life at all is, can you believe in God and still go against? And only the Jews believe in God, so also the Goyim believe in God, some of them. And yes, you can believe in God and still go against. And one of the greatest example in life is Bilam. Bilam, he was at the level of Moshe Rabbeinu. Yes, can it be? They say, Lokam B'Yisrael ke Moshe od. There was nobody in Am Yisrael like Moses. But the Gemara, in Israel there was nobody, but the Goyim, they had one, and this one is Bilam Rasha. How can we compare Bilam, this evil guy that wants to curse Am Yisrael, the children of God, and say that he is in the same level of Moshe Rabbeinu? And this is a very interesting question. He says by himself, Yodea Da'at Elyon, he knows God, he knows, he speaks with God, and still goes against him? Can this be? By the way, you all know Ma'arat HaMachpelah in Hebron. In the Ma'arat HaMachpelah we have our ancestor, we have Avraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov, and the Imaot HaKdoshot, the mothers, the holy mothers, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, and we also have something else there. Do you know what is buried in Ma'arat HaMachpelah with Abraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov, and Sarah, Rivka and Leah? Do you know? The head of Esav. The head of Esav? What is the head of Esav doing in Ma'arat HaMachpelah? Some people think that Esav Arasha, he was like a villain with tattoos and long hair, and he looked like a robber. A mistake, big mistake. Esav Harasha looked exactly as Yaakov looked, because they were twins, they were raised in the same home, they went to the same schools. The problem was that Esav knew exactly what Yaakov knew. He also knew the Torah, he also knew everything, and also believed in God, but he was not connected to his body. We say, V'yadata ayom v'shevota levavecha. The knowledge itself is not enough. You have to connect it to your heart. You have to connect it to the body. You have to connect it to the way you act in life. And if you're not connected, then you have a problem. And this is exactly Esav. Esav, he wanted to run after all the desires and the lust. And from the other side, when Yitzchak blessed Yaakov, he got very angry. He could not believe it. And he was thinking that he's losing now everything, which means he also believed in Olam Haba. And this brings us back to Bilam Rasha. But before, we have to understand, now we understand why the head of Esav Rasha is buried in Ma'arat HaMachpelah with Abraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov. Yes, the head. Why only the head? Because the head had the knowledge and had the Torah and had the belief and had everything, but it was not connected to the body. So the head was buried, but not the body, to teach us a big lesson, a lesson that Bilam Rasha also didn't learn. Bilam Rasha also, Yodea Da'at Elyon, he got the potential of Moshe Rabbeinu, was the same level, but with all due respect, having the level of Moshe Rabbeinu, he still went against. How could this be? We see Esav Rasha. It could very well be because some people, they believe, but they want to live the moment. They want to, I'm now here, I want to enjoy life. Is it right to live the moment? Is it right to go after your desires and lust? And who cares what's going to happen tomorrow? Of course not. But unfortunately, sometimes when you walk after your desires and you go in this way, you get to a point of no return. Now we see Bilam Rasha. He went so wrong, knowing God. He got the potential of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu took this potential and did unbelievable things. And from the other side, we have Bilam Rasha. Moshe Rabbeinu went up to heaven, and Bilam Rasha went down as deep as anybody can. And this is a big lesson for all of us. And look how God is trying to fix it, to try and convince him to go in the right way. Because at the end of the day, when we look in the parasha, we see that he is listening to God. And he's really... So we see that unbelievable things can happen if you're not aware where you're going, or let's say, put it this way, you go in the wrong way, even though you have the potential, you have everything. Now, Bilam Rasha, as we said, if you look at the Parsha, the messengers from Balak, they came, and they says, we want you to come. He says, wait, I have to ask God, because I cannot do anything without God. And the morning he says, I'm sorry, because God told him, you're not going. So he's telling them, you're not going. Kiddush Hashem. Then, the next time when the different messenger come at a higher level, because Balak thought, maybe I sent very low-level messengers, I sent like ministers, I sent the best people to Bilam, and he sends them. And then, also, God, he's speaking with God, and God is telling me, if they came for you, and lecha is like it was told to Avraham Avinu, lech lecha me'artzecha, says lecha letovatcha, for your own benefit, because Avraham Avinu went to a difficult way, but he gained a lot out of it. And what is really God telling Bilam Rasha, im likro lecha, check, you have the power, I gave you powers. Checking your powers, your prophetic power, if this is going to be for your good or no. But Bilam Rasha is so full with hate and seeking for honor and money and gold that he doesn't care. He doesn't think. He just goes. And this time, there is a small difference. Before he says God, 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 but now in the morning he's going with them, he's not saying anything about God. But God still, this guy, he's telling everybody about God. So when he goes on the way with his donkey, 3 times an angel stops them. And Bilam Rasha doesn't see the angel. The donkey sees the angel, the female donkey, I don't know how you call it. And at the end of this, the donkey also speaks with Bilam. And Bilam Rasha is not, he's okay, talking with him. He knows God is there, and if God wants the donkey to talk, the donkey will talk. Okay. But then, what is those 3 times? The first time, they're on the road, Baderich. Bro, there is a plenty space to turn around and go back. But he's hitting the donkey because he doesn't get the clue, or he doesn't want to even think about it. Second time, there are 2 walls, from right and from left. And even the donkey is smashing his leg on one of the walls. So, okay, don't you understand that God is giving you clues? No. He goes on. And then, the 3rd time, there is no way. You cannot know back, no right, no left, only go straight ahead. And the angel suddenly is revealing himself to Bilam. After again, he's hitting the donkey and he's speaking to the donkey. The donkey opens his mouth. Wow, do you hit me? And ta-ta-ta, we all know the story. And the angel suddenly when he sees the angel, he says, okay, you don't want me to go. God doesn't want me to go. I'll go back. He says, no. This is now the point of no return. You cannot go back. But in a way that somebody wants to go, God sends warning. Once, twice, 3 times, and you don't listen to the warning, that's it. Now you have to walk. But he says, you are going to speak, not what you want to speak, but what God is going to tell you to speak. And we all see how the curses that he wanted to curse, turning into blessing. Blessing at a level that Chazal wanted to put them in our prayers. For one of the most famous one is, Matovu Alecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Israel. We all know it. And the blessing comes from Bilam Rasha. So there's another question. Why do we need Bilam Rasha to bless us in this way? And why did Chazal think to put it in the prayers? You know why? Because if you talking good on your own people, on your own family, on your own folk, this is reasonable and this is logical. You're not going to tell bad things about your family. You're going to try and say good things. But if your enemy comes and praises you and says how good you are, this is something unbelievable. This is something to believe in at the highest level. So this is the reason that we have those blessings from Bilam Rasha. But again, Bilam is not the only one who believes in God. Balak also believes in God. And he says, what did God say? And the sacrificing, who did bring the sacrifices? Who to? To God. Unbelievable. And again, as we said, you can be a big believer and still go against God. This is what's happening to us every time that we go after our own desires, after our lust. And God is sending us clues, and He's telling us, be careful, be careful. You are on the wrong way. Unfortunately, we don't listen sometimes. Some of us do listen. And those who don't listen, they have to understand that there is a point of no return. If you're going on and on and on, not listening to God, and after God is warning you, and He's warning us every time that things are happening around us, we see what's happening now. God is warning us. God is showing us the truth in our eyes. Fix your ways. Start loving each other. Start spreading love and not hatred. But we don't learn. We're going on. And chas v'sholom that we will get to this point of no return. We can still fix things because God loves us. And we are Am Yisrael. And Am Yisrael, He doesn't leave us. We see what happened with Bilam and Rasha. Am Yisrael were protected. He wanted to look. He even thought that he is the messenger of God. Because he said, I'm going to find something wrong with Am Yisrael, and I am going to be the messenger that's going, through me, the punishment is going to go to God. He looked for 1 minute. And as I told you a story years ago about what he looked for is a sin that Am Yisrael are doing. The point is, the power of Am Yisrael is the power of being together, not separate. For example, if you wear a suit, a shirt, you don't wear your own clothes and you have a hole in your jacket. So you have a hole in the jacket, but you don't see your flesh. But if you have a hole in the jacket and on your shirt, but you have, let's say, a tzitzit or something, you're still covered. But if there is a hole on the jacket, on the shirt, on the gufiya, on the tzitzit, on everything, there is a hole, then what's happening? You see, you're not covered. You see the hole. You see your flesh. Not exactly. You can see the flesh of the body only if the hole is in the same place. If the whole of the jacket and the shirt and the tzitzis and the gufiya and everything is in the same place, then you can see the flesh. But if the whole of the jacket is here and the whole of the shirt is there and the whole of the tzitzis is there and the whole of the other whatever you wear is there, even if they're all with holes, but the holes are not against each other, they're not at the same place, you are still covered. And the same thing is when Am Yisrael are together. Okay, we are not all tzaddikim. We have this, we sinned here, we did this, we did that, but when we are gathered together, we are covering on each other. The hole is not in the same place. So each one of us is covering on his friend. And this is the greatness of Am Yisrael, to being together. And we must learn this lesson. Bilam Rasha was looking for this point. Our enemies are looking for this point. We see what's happening around us. Let's fix things. Let's be together, because our power is with being together. All the best, and hopefully maybe we'll learn the lesson that it's not enough to believe in God, but we also have to go in the right way. And the best way to go in the right way is when we go together, so we can cover on each other, because everybody's got his problems. But when we are together, nobody can. As Bilam tried, Balak tried, and others tried, they couldn't make it. So let's all be together. All the best and have a nice day.